Hey, Land of Lincoln friends. It is Friday Finance Facts, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about online targeted ads. This is something that everyone who's ever been on any kind of website or search engine is affected by, and I want to talk to you a little bit about some of the red flags to look for when you get these targeted types of ads and the safety of them, especially if you click through and you actually decide to make a purchase on them. I want to talk to you a little bit about things to look for. Personally, I love targeted ads because they usually show me something very relevant, something I've been shopping for, and I can remember to go back to do it, or it gives me a special offer if I didn't actually make a purchase. But there are a lot of people who don't like them, a larger majority that don't. However, statistics show that people are actually acting on them, so we want to talk a little bit about the financial safety aspect of that for our Facebook followers and our members. The average online user receives about 1,700 banner ads monthly. This all happens, just so that you know, because if you go on a certain website, immediately, usually in their privacy policy at the bottom, which most people don't click on and read, it shows that as you're clicking through their website, it's collecting data about you to know what you're clicking on, and in turn it sells those off as a third-party vendor to companies who purchase online targeted ads. Most websites have this kind of mechanism on their coding on the back end to track what you're doing and to pass that on, and the privacy policy details this, but most of the time when people are looking at a website, they don't look through that privacy policy. Google is another big area that tracks everything you're doing, and you don't realize how much Google can actually track, and that all is a part of their settings, and we're going to talk a little bit about how you can change that or keep an eye on it or just be aware of what they're tracking. And you have to think too, Google has their sites which they sell out a lot of advertising, but they also own YouTube, so when you're on YouTube and searching, all that data is being shared between the Google site and your search behaviors and your search behaviors on YouTube. And all of those things pass along to those different advertisers who decide to purchase through Google. The other thing that's interesting about online targeted ads is that they actually only receive 0.1% of clicks on any kind of online ad, especially targeted ads, which is, when you think about it, 1 in 1,000 people actually click on the ad. However, statistics and studies have shown that even though those click-through rates are really low, that the spending is still up. Most businesses in recent studies show that if they have online advertising, their overall sales can increase by 3.5%. So while they may not be clicking at the moment, it's giving them that brand recognition. So this sounds kind of like I'm talking to you a little bit about the benefits of doing online advertising, but I want you now as a consumer to think about what you can do to prevent any kind of issues if you're someone who's being tracked online. First of all, there's a website that you can go to. It's called myactivity.google.com, and I'll include that in the comments here. But it's myactivity.google.com, and what you can do is you can run reports to see exactly what types of things Google is tracking about you. In May of 2017, something that is interesting is Google came out with, and they announced this, and there are certain safety algorithms that they have to follow, and they ensured privacy, but they announced that they are going to be able to track your credit card purchases offline. And the reason that they're doing that is because they want to prove to their advertisers that while you were doing your Google searches about certain products, and maybe you didn't click through and purchase with those ads, but later on you purchased it on the credit card, and they're able to see that it actually ended up in the conversion of a purchase, which enhances the value to the advertiser for advertising. So there's an area in there that you can actually specify how much you want to be targeted and or how little you want to be targeted. So you can go in there and check that out. And again, I'll leave that web link in the comments for you. The next thing I want to talk about a little bit is that because online ads and targeted ads have increased so much, so have the scam ads and fake ads. And I wanted to kind of give you an idea, especially since we're in the online shopping season with the holidays, of things to look for to find out and identify if it's a fake or a scammed ad. And a few red flags to think about, and especially this happens with email targeted. We've talked about display ads and targeted ads when you're online or on Facebook or on Instagram for shopping, but this is the season also where you'll see an increase in emails, because you'll probably notice that when you purchase something online, it automatically opts you in to start receiving emails from the company, and whether we like it or not, or go unsubscribe or whatever. But you'll see an increase in emails in your inbox during this time of the year when you're making online purchases. And this is the time that scammers like to increase their emails that they push out to you. So some things to look for is make sure, and Toby, our Chief Information Officer, has talked about this before, so I don't want to be too redundant, but you might just want to make sure, look at the emails, because I'll tell you what, I've gotten emails sometimes that have grammatical and spelling errors in them, and that happens a lot. You'd be surprised, especially with people that are scamming at their credit card companies. It's just not done well, it's unprofessional. If you're online and you get served an ad, a lot of times it's a really grainy, unprofessional looking type of ad, and you can just tell it's not the actual big company. If you look closely at the web address, sometimes a letter will be off, especially when you get an email from somebody. If you hover over the click-throughs in there, if it's not the actual company and it's a different website address, that's a red flag. My advice would be to just open up your browser, whether it's Google, Bing, Yahoo, and search the company that you're getting the email from and just see if there's any kind of promo. They'll have it on their website if they're offering that promo that they're sending to you. Other red flags to look for would be free trial offers or special prices, something that just seems too good to be true. That typically is a red flag there, that's just not going to happen. The other thing I suggest that you do is look through the terms and agreements before you make a purchase on something, especially if it could end up being like an auto renew type of thing. A lot of times they make these terms and agreements really long and you don't want to sift through them, but that's where people get into trouble with, maybe once the credit card information is shared, now they suddenly start seeing a recurring payment because within the terms and agreements there's maybe some message in there about an auto renewal, or you'll have this fee for this service unless you shut it off. So my suggestion is that you make sure you read through the terms and agreements. Hold off on that purchase until you have the time to sit down and look through it. In the end, if you're not sure about something and your gut just tells you it's not a good idea, my suggestion is don't do it. I kind of go from the rule of thumb that maybe I'm looking through and I'm purchasing something and I might even pop it in the cart, but then I just wait. I don't click the purchase. I give it a 24-hour wait, kind of look at it. And that can benefit the consumer too, because sometimes, because these websites are tracking you, they'll notice that you have something sitting in the cart and something's keeping you from actually clicking complete order or purchase. And it can benefit you because sometimes you'll get an offer sent to you exclusive with a discount to where they're trying to kind of push you into, let's make the purchase, here's 20% off. So my advice is to hold off, give it some time, wait, sleep on it. However, just trust your gut. If your gut says this maybe isn't right, don't do it. When all is said and done, online shopping is relatively safe as long as you do your due diligence and your research on the site or the ad prior to clicking buy now. So just do your due diligence, but have fun with your Christmas shopping. If you have any questions, be sure to stop into one of our Land of Lincoln Credit Union branches, and we have financial experts on staff who are willing to talk to you about any of this and work through anything and answer any questions where you might not be sure. We're here and happy to help. So thanks for tuning in today for our Friday Financial Facts. Make sure you check in all this month. We've got lots of great tips on store for you. Happy holidays from Land of Lincoln Credit Union.